Good morning. It is September the 9th, 2016, the last trading day of the week, really the first week of the fall trading season. And we've had some really big changes. 30-year bond has crashed. The 10-year is coming down, being supported by knob spread long liquidation. The European Central Bank did not change their program. There are hints that the Bank of Japan might be through with their program, so people are dumping treasuries. Stock market's actually been able to sell a little bit on this. Currencies are unchanged. Crude's all over the map. One day it's up $1, one day it's down $1. So there are big changes going through. And there was an article last week on Zero Hedge talking about how the Fed has monetized everything, every commodity out there. G20 now runs and controls it, and which is ironic because their control is supposed to bring back inflation, and the central banks are caught between the rock and the hard place. The reality is that rent, food, medical services, especially education, have been going up. The price of gasoline or energy has been going down, except for electricity, given the Fed's mandates. So the real inflation out there that most of us deal with, depending on whose measurements that you look at, is anywhere from 2 to as high as 7%. But the Fed, to report to keep the population happy, is showing that inflation is relatively benign, less than 2%. They'd like it at 2%. So the central bank control of everything, nothing that they're doing is really working as planned, and that's the problem you get under government control. It's they're too late, dollar short, and a day late. That's exactly what happens when the government runs something because of the way they make decisions. So a lot of stuff happened yesterday that that has been shaken up. A move to add liquidity or add funds to Japan's account, to the European, the EU's account. Something like that could turn this around. It could turn it on a dime. But right now, treasuries are playing for an interest rate increase come 9/21. Now, I don't see how that's possible, given the election and the fact that they want, everybody in the government wants this current administration, their policies to continue outside of the Department of Defense. But we'll have to see. So right now the markets are telling us that the Fed's going to increase interest rates come the 21st. Okay, when we have heavy selling, especially in the bond, you won't see it so much here because of the knob spread. Quite often the low is set in the overnight session. So we have a chance right here that the low is set. We're pretty close to the low. So we're going to have pretty good support in the 12 to 16 area. So we're going to put our first buy at 12 to 16, let them get stops below 16, and then we'll make it 5 to 9. Might be a little cute. Resistance you can see right there is 21, so we've got a high at 21.5, we have a high at 21, we have a high at 23, so resistance is 20 to 24. The overnight session high is 29. So like to sell higher, so we're going to start out. I'm going to sell 23s, 27s. Might take a 20 to get in, don't know. And then we'll make it 31 to 03 for sell 2. Baker Hughes rig count and wholesale trade inventories are the news today, so no one pays attention to those numbers. ZB has just been crushed the last 2 days, and again, we're off 3 handles from where we were yesterday morning. It's $3,000 a contract, and you can't trade any markets without protection. I can remember, and I have told the room many times, my never trade with stops story that Pete Stedelmeyer admonished amongst us, and But given today's the volatility, the news spikes, the news out goes, the markets are entirely different. You have to trade with stops. You can't get around that. Okay, we have a low at 16. That could be the low. So we're going to have our first support at 12 to 16. We'll make our buy one at 5 to 9. Go a little bit lower but not break. And then 25 to 29. On the first place up here, 24.28, it'd be number one. So 31 to 03, sell one, pick up that low there yesterday. Good chance we're pretty close to the low given the selling that we had in the overnight market. And then we'll make 7 to 11, sell two. We're having ourselves quite a rain event right here. We've had 3.6 inches of rain since yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. And most of it came after 7 last night. It's been raining all night. And that's the way the rain comes to the plains. It's a big event. We usually don't get 2 to 3 day rain events here. We all learn by doing, but the first house I bought in Wichita, the foundation topped level with the curb, and the yard just had to be graded perfectly to make sure the water ran away from the house. If the water doesn't run away from the house, eventually it gets in. And we didn't make that mistake on our second purchase here. We made sure that there was proper elevation and proper drainage. And we haven't had any water leaks. This house has been in it 30 plus years now, so it got pretty nice. Okay, looking at gold. Again, paper money, paper securities, the rest of it screams for you to have a little gold in your portfolio. It's being very, very effectively sold that way. So 35, 37, buy one. And then 29 to 30. 1 buy 2, pretty much where we were last night. On the sell side, 43.45. Trying to trade lower right now, so I imagine it will. Then 48 to 50. Yeah, the creeks will be full. It's not as bad here as it is in the southwest and drier parts of our country. But the creeks do rise, and we do get to flood stage pretty quickly here. The biggest thing we have going is it's pretty flat, so it doesn't all get funneled into very, very small areas like it does if in mountainous or hilly terrain. But the wheat crop will have proper subsurface moisture. The wheat crop's getting off to a great start, so no need to worry about these guys dusting the crop in and praying for rain, which the farmers will not like to hear because it keeps grain prices low. Okay, on the euro, I'm in the September contract. I cannot find my control, my dome. I know it's there. I can see it on the list. But so I'm in SEP. It's okay to trade it today. Yeah, tall grass would be the creeks will be at their banks, and it'll be puddled. The course is not nearly as good a shape as it was when you were here, Mont. Okay, so the euro, we're at 70. We had a 95 to 113 sell, so 90 to 113 sell one, 13.25 sell two. On the buy side, 12.50. This is basis September. then 12.25. And basically yesterday there was no need for the European Central Bank to print money any faster than they are right now. So things are stabilizing around that idea, and the world will be looking to see what Japan does next. Or the United States on come September 21st. Okay, crude's all over the map. Yesterday we said because it had rallied into the close that a good sell should develop after 2:30 Eastern, and that's exactly what happened. Off of the high right there, the market did manage to trade back down to 47.32. The sell was at 47.66, so you picked up 20 cents on that. We're trying to sell right now. Now, Frankfurt, Paris time is getting the jump on London, so quite often the new moves start in the K&L period. And 50% retracement in these single prints is the norm for go-with contracts. So we've got the breakout price at 61. We're at 46.90. We had the last rotate down yesterday, stopped at 46.25. So pretty bold. 46.50, 46.75 is buy one, and 46 even, 46.25 is buy two. On the sell side, 47.25, 47.50 sell one, 47.75, 48 sell two. Yeah, Fitz, I think any fundamental economist sees problems everywhere in everybody's economy, and if they're honest, not government driven statistics, it's hard not to see a recession starting in 2017 after the United States has done everything in its power to pump up the economy, to keep the current administration and their minions in power. Looks like to me that the UK is going to dodge the Brexit bullet, as bad as they thought it was going to be. And I think given time, a lot of opportunity coming from England rejoining the world stage as an exporter to anybody and everybody, to their customers' specifications, not to Brussels specifications. Okay. Seasonal tendencies, if you can count on them anymore. And I'm going to do a case split here. I just want to point out to you that we've been doing the M split, but the KL split is probably a little more accurate now. So move out of the middle. So we are heading down. We've got this high volume number at 60, and then we've got our low volume number down at 50. So 2150, I think, is where we're headed. So 60 might be the first buy. Let's go a little cheap, a little bit lower. So 55, 57 buy one. 50, 52 buy two. On the sell side, 65, 67 sell one. 70, 72 sell two. No news to speak. No news to speak of this morning. So will the selling that began yesterday carry over? And I don't think that Treasuries will get a lot of support out of the E-mini unless it breaks big time. So let's look for stops below 2150. And the 2150 area is an area that could give us a pretty good long. Going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible in a few.